Well met, lords and ladies. Jacob Butter speaking, surprisingly bright today, and welcome back to another episode of. Okay, so I realized something. I actually forgot to plug in my webcam, and that's why it looks a little bit grainier, but also surprisingly much brighter than normal. I don't think there's any difference in the light settings today, but normally I look like I'm streaming from, I don't know, the depth of one of the 9 circles instead, when no light can pass. So I'm gonna quickly reconnect the webcam and see if the difference actually works or not. And it froze, so I guess that's doing something. Okay. So now if I switch cameras like this. Okay, yeah, no, the quality is better, but the visual is actually significantly worse. I think I'm actually might prefer the the regular computer webcam, surprisingly, at least in these light settings. Also, if I had to shuffle it over because I could see everything. So yeah, normally looks like this. I don't know. Let me know what you prefer, and then I might make the change or something. Speaking of making changes, there's an unplanned segue right there. Abridged series. We've all seen at least one of them, I imagine. At the very least, we're probably most of us are familiar with the I'm at soup meme, which is probably the biggest viral moment from an abridged series. If not just in general, we're aware of the concept of them existing. So yeah, once you boil it down, it's somebody who is the actual term abridging actually just means to shorten something, but obviously on the internet it's taken up the mantle of parodying something as well as shortening it. And that can come in a variety of ways, but mostly in redubbing and changing a few story details. But for me at least, the best abridged series at least have a recognition to the original. They're not just spiraling everything so far out of left field. There are a few things at least tie things over, no matter how crazy they might actually get. Thank you, Ghosty, for the donation. As for how this one might turn out, it depends, because this is one by WizGaming, aka the creator of the Fartnado dub version, which, for the record, Bond did remind me that it was by Gacha WoW Studios originally. So I'll just amend that from the previous video. We checked out the original Spirit Animals video by NotZoey, which is what is being parodied today, but not in the same way, because Spirit Animals, unlike the original Fartnado, was voice acted, so it enters much more the realms of a redubbing, which means that I think a lot of the context may well have been changed. That being said, I'm only judging by the first few seconds that I watched before I download the video, so we're about to find out today. But before we do that, there is one last thing to talk about, and that is that apparently, the reactions alone here show that the thumbnail is absolutely something that people have clocked onto. Now, you got to be careful with thumbnails on YouTube, because actually, there is a certain point where the more cluttered they are, the less clickable they are. The less likely someone is to focus on the attention that you actually want it to have. So that is something that I think about whenever I'm actually like adding my OC to thumbnails for Gacha Review the way that I do. It's just adding, sometimes adding more clutter onto stuff that's already there. Other times it is just a simple like fun thing on top of something that's already been like curated. In this case, here is the original thumbnail of the video. Now you can tell it's meant to be like someone's doodled over the actual Spirit Animals thumbnail, which admittedly was already pretty cluttered with like the fire and everything, but at least had 2 characters to focus on. And in this one, because we're clearly going with a theme of Tessa Brook specifically, it seems like it's been filled up to basically MLG levels, if anyone understands what I mean by that. And there's a reason that that has been something that people have moved away from, at least to a certain degree. So yeah, already, yes, eyes burning, much like the fire that was originally there before all of the Takis actually ended up overpowering it. So I don't know, maybe we're going to get less of a Phoenix allegory to this and more of Takis. Now, admittedly, I don't know that much about Tessa Brook. I remember the name from It's Everyday Bro. Tessa Brooks, the competition shook. Here to educate you, and I ain't talking book. That's that classic line. Aside from that, don't actually know that much. So let's have a look at a video that was made 3 years after that. So there's definitely a lot more Tessa Brook lore that I might not be aware of. So let's see. Did this indeed shake the competition like before? We're about to find out. So here is our let's take a look at the abridged version of Tessa Brook or whatever. I don't actually know. Without further ado, on with the review.
Oh my gosh, it's a weird dog with horns. Leave me alone. Oh my gosh.
Yep, so I think that tells everyone what kind of video we're about to witness today. Yes, so this is this definitely seems to be veering less towards you know, the typical balance of abridged content and more so towards the Alpha Sisters pretending that they're actually educating people on Miraculous when in fact they're just recontextualizing everything. That being said, you know, some of them do start off like this. One of my favorite abridged series is Goblin Slayer Abridged, and that starts with someone yelling about dysentery. So, you know, stranger things have indeed happened. As for why all of the why all the background sound effects and everything is done by one person, well, in the description of this video, I actually found out that the rabbit hole gets deeper. This was inspired, apparently, by a video done by, let me just remember, let me just look up the name quickly, because I have it here, I think. Yep. Done by Haru Dori, who I believe is the VA for Daisy in the Music Freaks. There's a video that is literally called The Music Freaks Episode 1, but the entire episode is voiced by Daisy's voice actress. So yeah, with that in mind, I guess we've got something else to check out. Maybe we'll check it out at the end of this video if the stream ends up being exceptionally short. Because I mean, you know, this is unlike most abridged content. The runtime is exactly the same, so it's more like redubs, but it just, you know, it has that same vibe to it. Also, yeah, Jeff the Killer is another example of this kind of thing, or like their idea of essentially, you know, what they call satire and I call spoof. But yeah, if you think about the Miraculous video specifically, that one seems to have not accomplished its intended purpose if the short they posted later is to be believed. As for this, let's see.
I'm such a good hypnotizer.
My hidden talent is that I can make my eyes bulge. What a coincidence. So
Yeah, so I have seen this sometimes. Actually, one thing that a lot of abridged content does, because most of it is it comes from anime, is they actually will alter the eyes, like they'll change them in certain ways or something. But yeah, sometimes it is just it's just something to talk about with the animation. Like I imagine if, for example, there was there is actually a Madoka Magica abridged series, but it's one of those that has encountered a lot of copyright issues. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that one also has a few jabs at what the fandom have called magukas, apparently, if what Ghosty has told me is correct, which I assume it is. So yeah, sometimes that happens. I don't know what to watch the thing. Since it's voiced by a singular person, I'm missing something. Well, I mean, Aiden did at one point actually do something similar where it wasn't voiced by one person, it was voiced by it was voiced by the same people, but all with swapped roles, essentially. Because at one point he actually accidentally labeled one of the lines, or maybe I did because I co-wrote it. One of us accidentally labeled one of the lines by another person, or maybe the voice actor recorded something by accident, and then he just kind of ran with that. It's like, hey, what if everyone else was swapped? So, but I think that was like one scene. I think the idea is basically, like of what kind of disaster fest are we in for? In comparison, I think that's the idea. But yeah. Also, hold on a second. Oh yeah. Welcome, Rose Ninja is cool, and welcome back, Midnight. I'm, Bonner's welcome both of you in for the first time. I'm pretty sure Midnight's at least has been here. But yeah. I mean, it might be a you thing. I mean, sometimes, a particular type of humor is just not for someone. The famous example being MAMD in my case. And I have said before, I get why people find that funny. I personally just do not. And that's why it's at the bottom of my Star Kid list. But I get it. I get it. I think this might be similar.
And I'm only in middle.
Okay, I will say, however, that the volume mixing could have done with some work, because you have this basic volume here for these characters here as that are actually speaking that you want to focus on, and back when you have like audio balance wise, not the best. You're missing out on the actual jokes that you want people to linger on rather than one you've already made with the sound.
You old grandma. Wow, you are so very cool. Don't sleep tonight. Hey.
Oh, okay.
Don't kill me or else I swear
That'd been a good time to add an extra camera angle.
by my life, I'm going to get you back. You think?
So yeah, obviously, in the early days of abridged content, because abridged content dates back to 2006. So in the early days, that it was not very commonplace to have like matching lip flaps or anything. So sometimes lines would like overrun. And yeah, I do get the temptation to do that and whatever. It's one of the reasons that abridged content takes so long to produce today. Modern day abridged series, that they sometimes have like one episode a year, or two maybe if we're lucky. And yes, like the mutant girl, before anyone makes that joke, haha. But yeah, like early abridged series, much more consistent, because I mean, they not just because they didn't know how to edit better, there simply just was not the means to do so. If anyone getting a headache, I mean, there is just basically I don't know, a woodpecker or something, just yelling in the background, so I get it.
You're hotter than me? Fine, prove it to me right now.
Alright, bring it on!
I will say, obviously for this kind of thing, if you're voicing a bunch of characters, trust me, I get it. The temptation is absolutely to make them have goofy voices. And I fully understand that. I will say most of the voices in my arsenal are specifically very goofy and cartoonish.
Hiya, beauty queen slice.
Also, I think probably the tinnitus might be coming from the voice cracks on top of everything. But yeah. So glad I'm not wearing headphones. I could imagine. Maybe I'm just so used to this kind of thing. I've just desensitized myself by this point. I don't know.
You ugly, mean.
At least the commitment to all the sound effects is on point.
God.
Chunky laser beam activate.
Oh, no reference to the fact that you just blinded him. Oh, well.
7 a.m. waking up in the morning, gotta get down, gotta go downstairs, gotta pack my bag.
My goodness. Yeah, 2020, 9 years after Friday. I'm glad it's still funny to people.
Gotta bring my hydro flag.
To be fair, I do listen to Gang Fight sometimes, which is the parody video that Bad Lip Reading did like a week after Friday came out.
8 a.m. and I'm sitting down.
I recognize that voice actor. This person voice acted in Royale Fairy Academy. I mean, I actually don't know. I do know that WizGaming, that got some like some good notoriety in the Gacha community, so it's entirely possible that part of it was from that. I actually don't know. everyone else is better recognizing VAs than I am in terms of. I think somebody told me like in a couple of videos ago, "Hey, that's the same person that voiced, this character in the music freeze." I'm like, "Oh, fantastic."
They're screaming at my mom. She's giving me
Honestly, I'm better at recognizing voice actors in Spanish dubs than I am in any other situation.
a plastic straw. I'm a disco girl, a disco girl. Gotta get down with disco girls. Wear a scrunchie and your hair oil.
The original Friday song is already goofy enough. You don't need to like on top of it to make the point. This is the thing I think is holding back the Alpha Sisters in the modern day as well, actually. There's a temptation to just make everything as funny as physically possible. Like do all the jokes that you possibly can and just like cram them in, basically. It's like the opposite metaphor to like Bilbo Baggins' famous line of like butter spread over too much bread. This is the opposite. It's like a whole chunk of butter smushed down onto like a single crumb, basically. That's what happens. It ends up, oversaturating. So either people are, just either people are in hysterics, hopefully, but if not, there's so much to focus on. It's like there's nothing really to grasp onto, and it doesn't build up to anything because it is just 100% all the time, and that gets over time that gets grating. So yeah. That might be it, to be honest, and that's also why there's the issue of like, people who are inspired by Alpha Sisters or the Alpha Sisters themselves are held back by the fact that they can't take anything seriously. Their whole branding is everything is a joke, but when everything is a joke, the investment isn't the same if there's no balance. That's basically the thing.
Care. I'm a disco girl. I'm a disco girl. Disco girl. Gotta get down with disco girls. Wear a scrunchie in your hair right over here. I'm a disco girl.
So this happened to my content. Well, and then, yeah. Well, you might be able to use Spirit Animal for that effect, but no. Nah, we'll make sure that if we ever abridge your content, we'll strike the balance. Don't you worry. Oh, everything fades now. Good.
Hi, I'm Brook. I'm happy you not. I'm very happy. La 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 la. I'm Brook. I'm happy you not.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this visual of the towel just bobbing up and down.
I'm Brook. I'm happy you not. This is an intro song because I don't know what I'm doing.
This intro song, actually, I'll say that this intro song joke is probably the best in the video thus far. Reminds me a lot of Ryan George's improv singing that he did at one point, where he was like doing like an X Factor parody, I think it was, or one of those like talent show TV things. And his thing was he just went as if the song that I'm singing is copyright free. You can't claim the video because I'm making it up on the spot. That was basically what he did. So yeah. So I get it. Why not? This is the improv singing people do. And honestly, I'll say this. After years of Aiden's improv singing, relatable. Also, Wiz does voice Kai. Okay.
I'm Brook, and I'm happy, and you're not. And I'm happy, and you're not.
Wait, no. I've got a better comparison. KW's Birch song. That's the best comparison I can make to this a cappella song.
And I'm happy, and you're not. And I'm happy, and you're not. This is intro. Song.
Bravo.
Mom, I already told you. Stop giving me plastic straw.
Okay, so why does it suddenly sound like this for no reason? That's not the voice you were doing earlier. Surely that would have been the song as well.
I don't... Main character has a different voice. Sure, right then.
We have to save the turtles.
Excuse me, but whoever asked you to talk, the world doesn't revolve around.
Also, okay, so here's the thing. The plastic straw joke, fine. If you want to make fun of Visco girls, very common thing of the era. Again, for 2020, I understand. However, make sure to actually include a plastic straw in the video. At least, like, edit it into the glass or something to show that there is at least a straw. because otherwise you're just ranting about plastic straws for no reason. This is why the abridged stuff, like, I think has like a balance basically, where, you know, I mean, even something like outlandish, like Pokemon Bridged, for example. You know, well, I would say, you know, Pokemon Bridge is probably the funniest abridged series that I've seen. Not the best, but the funniest. And yes, they do pack a lot of jokes into basically everything, but it's all jokes that revolve around the subject and the context of Pokemon. So it's still tying back to what's originally happening here. So far, we haven't had any mention of, you know, of rankings. The one instance of a spirit animal we've seen in this has been, you know, laughed up as a, you know, begone foul beast, essentially. So it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like the same story. And of course, you know, abridged stuff is not the same story, but it's an adaptation of the story. And adaptations, by definition, have a connection to their source material. And this just simply, for the time being, doesn't.
Around you, sweetie. You can't just open your mouth whenever you feel like it, okay? Okay? I've been hearing.
Also, yes, how does abridged content can make the video better? Yeah, famously, Sword Art Online abridged is, you know, is one where people say that it's way better than the original, than Sword Art Online proper, and I can see why. Because, but you know, even that it has ties back into, you know, SAO itself. They don't decide to just make up everything possible. The main character is still Kirito and not, I don't know, Kevin.
For 15 years now. Give me a break.
See, at least the characters being 15 is consistent. Oh, wait, no, actually, wait, no, even that is inconsistent. The character was 16 in the first one. I think I pointed that out actually, because I referenced Winx Club. Okay, sure, maybe for the first year of her life she was completely mute. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Mom, I'm literally gonna bang you over the head with my hydro flask one day.
And this is what abridged content does with eyes normally, but this wasn't the original, so here we go.
Oh my gosh, it looks like I'm gonna be late on my first day of school. Brooke, get.
I can barely understand what's being said right now. I mean, acapella singing, like, volume balance aside, is a little bit better in this scene than it was before, but still, if your take ends up being like, oh my god, everyone, unless you're being encouraged the cowardly dog, try to enunciate a bit more and do a second take, please.
Your butt back over here. You need to bring
There you go.
lunch. If you don't, they're probably gonna call like the child protection services on me or something, and I don't want to go through that much trouble.
This better not be poison, idiot.
And now my voice has changed again for some reason. Hey, guess what? It's me, Tristan Taylor from Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, the first of Abridged series. There we go. You watched this old Daisy instead. Cody Vito. I don't know, because if this video is inspired by that one, there's a good chance that it's similar. That being said, Rosie Closey did comment positively on that other video. I did check, but we'll see. You're more resistant than everyone else.
Did it, but I think I'm a cosplayer. My old school's full.
Okay, is that the first actual Foley in this, rather than going? That's the best I can do for. I mean, if it's Wiz doing the sound effect, then, you know, fantastic. I'm impressed. If it's not, I'm relieved, because everything being this was already, you know. Oh, okay, Ghosty's still here, but just regretting her life. Yeah.
Furries like me, but this new school, what's its name? Like a Glowville or something? They're not.
Okay, I just read something with the music, actually. Well, the music with the acapella register, the music. I know that a lot of like tracks will, like, you know, loop repeatedly. I'm pretty sure this is just essentially the same through, like, da 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 da, just like over and over, basically.
No furries, and it kind of makes me sad.
Hey, you brat! How dare you steal my big fat talkies?
Well, there's the first Takis mention. This video was sponsored. That was a whole Tessa Brook thing that I'm just not aware of. Anyone know any Tessa Brook lore passes every day, bro? Because I don't. Plugging in the cable. This is what's happening. I also love Birch. Moving on. Okay, you know what? Actually, this is my favorite acapella rendition so far.
What? You think you can run away from a thick legend like me?
Yeah, by the way, okay, so another reason why removing the context of spirit animals in the first place doesn't quite work here is because with the original footage, you still have the stat blocks there, and Wiz isn't changing any of the camera angles. It's just the sound that's being altered here, meaning that you have to acknowledge the fact that there's like stats there, or just, I guess, maybe ignore them entirely. I don't actually know. So yeah, another reason why, like, the whole context here, I guess, sure, you be a thick legend and have that be what's going on. Can't wait for how they try to gloss over the explanation of the lore later.
Now give me my talkies, or else I choke you until you can't breathe.
Or else I choke you until you can't breathe. Can we just process that sentence for a second? Or else I choke you until you can't breathe. Dare I say that the whole point of choking an individual is to restrict their breathing? Am I correct?
It's another furry.
Okay, so we're talking about furries here. How on earth is someone connecting to an octopus a furry? Octopuses don't have fur.
How dare you call me a furry? Oh, it's a pirate from
Yeah, don't call him a furry. It's not even accurate.
Bikini Bottom. Well, it would be a
Yeah, okay.
shame if something happened to this.
Also, we talk about Bikini Bottom when you're using a marine creature to restrict someone.
Pirate, wouldn't it? You better step back from this scene right now, pirate.
Okay, nope, you know what? I'll give points here. Thank you for calling her a pirate. Eye patches every time. I hate him. So yes, I'll give you a point for that joke.
Because this man stole my talkies!
Barbie says sharing is caring.
Neon talkie dust, activate!
Neon Tarky Dust. All right then. Neon Tarky Dust Evangelion.
Oh, wait! I have some really great big fat talkies, but I don't have any money on me. I have a plan. I hope this works.
Well, I didn't want to tell you this, but I have a fairy godmother. She can give me as many talkies as I want.
All right, I know the bar is set extremely low, but whenever I said before, whenever I love something, I nitpick it. Whenever the opposite is true, I try to dig around for the positives. And I will say, if we're looking for like bare minimum here, a character is that is pretending to be to have a higher importance in the eyes of the other character in order to intimidate them and have them back off, which is at the fundamental level the same thing that happened in the original. So there is a connection there. I'm being extremely loose with this.
So, you
I've read Takis once, I hated it. I don't see the appeal, honestly. Yeah, can someone look up Tessa Brook and Takis or something, please? Like, I know if there's like a connection here.
better skirt before someone gets hurt.
All right. That's kind of clever. Okay, sure. It was prose. It has one part where it was accurate to the original, and a joke that I actually liked, the pirate one.
It worked. I wish I actually had a fairy godmother.
Oh, your wish came true.
Are you a genie? Heal him.
No, it should have been. Oh, you should have said, "Are you my fairy godmother?" Or like, "The wish came true," or something to tie in that joke. That's another problem with this. The jokes just like come and go, and there's no like build up to them. Yeah, it's a case where yeah, whenever they're so like packed full of things, we just move on to the next like random thought. But a lot of what good abridged content does is it builds on certain jokes, whether or not it's over the course of multiple episodes or not. Sometimes it's the same episode. Actually, Dragon Ball Z abridged, I would say like the most famous abridged series of all time. That does this a lot actually. It's something that if you can notice it in certain episodes, they'll do the rule of threes thing. If anyone doesn't know, the rule of three is like a rule in literature and in comedy and just stuff in general, where like packaging stuff in threes is and ends up being like they're being much more effective. Whether or not that's on a rising scale or a descending one. Brenly Mulligan actually said the same thing on a Game Changer one time, where he tried to game the system. He was trying to get second place at the time. He pointed out that comedians, by definition, are designed to try to be as funny as possible, and using the rule of threes in a setting with three contestants means that either they have to go higher or lower, which means that his decision basically would impact of when he actually goes would impact if he gets to get the best or worst. It was Donald Trump impression at the time. That's what he was doing. So yeah, pretty universal concept basically. Team 4-Star do it all the time. Another thing that Team 4-Star do actually is they've mentioned before that Takada 101, who is one of their key writers, will try to like add a joke, and instead of and we'll try to like push that joke as far as possible, and then it would be up to Kaizeneko and Lani Pator, the other the like head key writers of DBZA, would come in to dial it back if necessary, or if they deem it necessary, basically. So it wouldn't just keep going incessantly until it was no longer funny. I feel like it's kind of a similar thing where instead of like building on one joke too much, they build on too many jokes too little. And it's the same problem, basically. You add so much content that, you can't dial back because there's no chance to actually relax. That's one of the things, basically. Ghosty asked to be let in. Sorry, I end up going on a tirade about Team 4-Star. Okay, yeah, Ghosty, go ahead. I will send you the link. I'm sending the link to Ghosty. There you go.
Excuse me, can you speak English? Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, that's what he meant before. Now he's going to like, yeah, what's going on? He was Nicholas Polyakov from Code Lyoko for a second, and now he's whatever's going on here.
Thank you for trying to help me.
Yeah, see what I said before. Second take,
I don't
please.
speak brat. Sorry.
Oh.
What?
Are there just... Is this a swarm of bees about to attack? What is this with these sound effects?
I'm a no smash.
Do I hear howler monkeys? A lot. I hear howler monkeys and also bees. Bees. Wow, what happened to the actual sound effects from earlier? That was horrendous in comparison.
I'm gonna pass out from starvation.
It's not like Donald Duck being drowned.
Because I didn't get my talkies.
What is happening background? Yes, let's go. Yes. I feel like a kid just got told they're gonna go get ice cream or something.
Welcome to my world. In my world, little boy is best boy. We all have to respect
Little boy is best. What?
him and do everything he says.
Okay, remember what I said before, how they're going to skip over the law, basically? Well, I guess they're skipping over the law right now. Why does little boy have so many other symbols if it's one person you're talking about here?
Because then he will bless us with a magical genie. We can't bribe him.
I'm sorry, he will blast you with a magical genie, as in he will summon a genie and launch the genie in your direction. Huh?
With ladders. It has to be for a good deed. Sometimes he can tear the genie out of our hearts, so it will be ugly, just like us. Then, from then on, there will be a
Hold on. So if you anger little boy, you'll get blasted with a genie. However, if little boy deems it so, little boy can extract the genie from you, presuming that the genie is in fact already inside of you. Was there a script for this video, or was it literally just whatever jokes you come up with? Because there are some abridged series that were like that. Lanny Pator has mentioned that his first attempt at Yu Yu Hakusho, abridged in general, which is Yu Yu Hakusho abridged, was actually like that. That the writing process was first of all, watch the episode and then think of all the jokes you possibly could and go from there. But I will say, even back then, even in 2007, Lanny Pator still managed to pull off, again, tying it to the actual original and also, build up on certain ideas if they keep coming up again. That was a literal first attempt. So this is, oh my. Hi, Kirsty.
Okay. This was clearly made with no respect towards the source material.
Yeah. I am wondering about the Music Freaks one because I mean clearly Daisy's VA has appreciates the original for what it is. I can imagine so. It's not like a Robert Pattinson Twilight situation. In this case, I don't know if Wiz had any connection to spirit animals or not. I don't think so.
Abridged content, it's not just abridged content for the sake of abridging content. It's also a labor of love towards the source material. But this was clearly made with no respect towards said source material, and you can flagrantly tell by the amount of lore they're throwing out. At least SAO Abridge keeps the original lore, but just makes it more interesting.
Yeah, most of what they add what they feel like they should add and remove quite a bit from what I've heard. For good reason, honestly.
For good reason. SAO is kind of bad. They also cut out a few scenes that are not important to the plot, but are important to those who appreciate plot.
Which is where the actual definition of abridging comes in. So, they did their job.
So this feels less like abridging and satire, but this feels more like the shadow bullying the creator of the video because thing bad.
I don't think it's a thing bad necessarily. I mean, they're actively avoiding any form of commentary over it. Again, SAO Abridged at least offers commentary over the things that don't make sense. On top of celebrating their own stuff or what is good.
At least SAO Abridged occasionally points out that SAO is a broken game by design.
Oh yeah. And having a pro gamer like their version of Kirito point that out, it makes sense in universe as well. But yeah, in this case, I'm not sure if it's meant to be shadow bullying, and it is more of a case of, I'll just make all the jokes I can. I'll actively avoid the lore around this.
In that case, cut out the lore segment. You have fingers, you have an editing program, clearly, with all the horrible mixing you're doing. Just cut out the lore. Also, I do not appreciate that you're calling everyone with the spirit animal furries.
As I pointed out earlier, as I pointed out earlier, octopuses are by definition not furry, so they don't count.
Octopuses are nauticals.
Yeah, there you go.
There is a difference between furries and nauticals.
I didn't know that was the term. I just knew that the term wasn't furry.
It's the world brighter.
See a joke they could have done here actually is using the different examples of animals here. They could have have just done that as a classification. They could have said, instead of being like, low ranking, mid ranking, elite ranking, and high ranking, they could have said, I don't know, furries, scalies, nauticals, fourth term that I can't think of off the top of my head, something like that. And they could have tied that back in and built on their previous joke. Unfortunately, it seems like nothing gets built on at all here.
Basically can kill anybody you want. And it doesn't mean you have to keep them by your side all the time. Because sometimes you can turn, like, for example, turtle into turtle shell shield using their scales after you
Again, obvious miraculous joke here, not being avoided.
kill them to protect yourself. Our society is made up.
I mean, to protect yourself. This okay. No, this feels like Rick and Morty actually, where clearly like the first take is the one that they went with for some of them because like the stuttering is part of the joke basically, especially if you're Justin Roiland. But anyway,
I can understand from that perspective if this video made any coherent sense at all. This makes me want to watch the original video, even though the original video is probably pretty mid.
As somebody who watched it 2 days ago on Gacha Review, yes, it is. There are some interesting things it does, but most of the interest comes in the visuals of the time. I have to say. Also, if you see the beginning of Unbounded, it's by the same person, and structurally, it's very reminiscent of that.
Of different people. Some of them like talk.
We're not even in angry French person territory. We're in angry gibberish person territory.
And some of them like hot Cheetos.
Yeah, see, another thing you could have done: Takis, Doritos, Cheetos, Walkers / Lays if you're American. I don't know.
This is really important because the rankings are cow, chicken, pig, wizard, pig.
Yeah, see, there we go. Cow, chicken, pig, wizard versus furry, scalies, or other stuff.
Bazooka! They are chunky legend.
Chunky legend.
Low rankers are very.
See, a little bit of a problem here when the text literally says low rankers. This is actually something I've talked about this before. There is one common problem between Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and Teen Titans Go, and that is because both shows have so many visuals while the characters are talking. It basically makes it impossible to properly dub or translate. And in this case, it's a redub, you're trying to do something else with it. You can't really, because there's always the shadow of the images that you can't change without significant time editing, which is clearly not in WizGaming's wheelhouse at this point in time.
Like, it's either not in his wheelhouse or he's too lazy to do it.
Possibly both. I'm not sure. Because some things you can work out, some things, yeah.
We know that like creating new audio for new lines and backgrounds, even though balancing is out of his wheelhouse, he's perfectly willing to do that. However, when it comes to changing anything editing wise, he just rather not.
Yeah, there is a lot of clearly there's a lot of time and dedication put into the sound for this. If the music alone must have taken some time at the very least, or at least a couple of extra audio tracks and stuff. Which not every Gacha tuber was doing at that time, using multiple audio tracks or more than 2. So, but when it comes to, I guess, the visuals, that just seems to be the area of oh yeah, not gonna go there, I suppose. Maybe it's meant to be a callback to the Fartnado dub in the sense that was also using the original visuals, but adding extra sound and sometimes extra jokes on top of that. Maybe that's just WizGaming's style, I suppose. But I don't know.
Can I hate a style?
You can hate a style. I hate eyeless freaks in the music freaks. So why not?
Oh, in that case, I hate this video.
All right, Roger Ebert.
Jacob, there's only been one funny joke, and it was that pirate one.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't like
Unless this
talking
video
much.
suddenly gets funny and changes my mind, I'm quite literally just going to sit here like, not funny, didn't laugh, not funny, didn't laugh, then my existence didn't laugh.
Isn't that isn't that a Donkey Kong meme? Not funny, didn't laugh. I don't know, something like that. It was done like the Donkey Kong theme song, basically. Yeah. Should have run to save brain cells. Yeah, fair enough. There's only so much loving of Birch that you can do to justify some of this.
Knows how stupid. Mid rankers are pretty cool because they like Cheetos, but talkies are better. Elite rankers are amazing because they like talkies.
Maybe WizGaming likes talkies instead of Tessa Brooks. By the way, Tessa Brooks' prophecy has not come into this yet, and we're over halfway through the video.
High rankers like both talkies and Cheetos, which makes them the best. You can.
Okay, by the way, I'm just going to pause this back and I'd like to go to what's happening in the chat right now, because there's clearly something here. Stick Stale particularly is into this trap. So yeah, I'm new here. Should tune in. Well, so I guess check out Koei's
Five
FNIA
Nights
series,
at
very
Anime.
underrated. Yeah, no, that's that. We've worked that out at this point because yeah, Bond said it wasn't an acronym, even though we're trying to look up what it was. It's also called Wraithbreaker, and then it turns out, oh, it's FNAF, as if Five Nights at Anime. But then the answer to that question was FNIA with JJK elements. Yeah, you got to understand. Sometimes people just don't know what acronyms you're talking about, and they need the actual full thing the acronym stands for in the first place. Don't just add extra acronyms
Wait,
on
I know.
top of the description
I
you've already
know.
given. If
I
people don't know
know.
what you're saying,
I know what
is it
JJK
anime?
is.
Yes or no?
JJK is Jujutsu Kaisen. And I gotta say,
okay.
what a mix-up. I'm definitely not going to be checking out that series.
Yeah, I don't know. JJK to me could have been J. Jonah Catherson for all I knew. I don't know. That's the point. If someone asks you what an acronym is, don't add an extra one to help with defining it or answering the question.
I saw the acronym and I instantly thought of the assassination of JJK.
You mean JFK, right?
Yeah. I'm a small dyslexic girl out here in the world reading acronyms wrong.
Everyone remembers 36th US President John Kennedy.
Johnson Kennedy. Anyway, let's continue, please. I'm already made a fool of myself.
Succeeded by his vice president, Lyndon Baines Fitzgerald. Okay, going on.
Also increase your liking for talkies and Cheetos by eating them more and more so that you can become a chunky legend!
This should have been saved for the high rankers if this is meant to be the ultimate apex of, what you can achieve here.
I'm about to meet the love interest for this series.
Wait, I just realized something. This like background, it reminds me of like this. Again, going back to Donkey Kong for some reason, there's a really funny Starbomb song. I mean, that's a very vague statement. Among the several really funny Starbomb songs, there's one about Donkey Kong Jr. specifically, like succeeding Donkey Kong as he's getting older, basically. And just the whole thing is like is Danny rapping that, like from Donkey Kong's perspective, and then suddenly in the chorus, all you get is just Aaron going, "Hi, my name is Donkey Kong. Yes, my name is Donkey Kong." Yeah, that's basically it. Like clearly not fully prepared to succeed in the family business, let's say. But again, there's a contrast, there's a build up to the joke, and an actual payoff to it, rather than everything being punchline, 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 blah, 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 you know?
I can't wait! La 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 la, singing the love song.
Oh, I thought it was a Smurf reference.
Oh my gosh, it's Orange Eyes! Everybody run!
All right, so again, if I'm going by my bare minimal positivity here, the two cats in the background acknowledged there was an intimidating presence, not the same one as before. It was actually about, the one with black hair in the original. But then they did in fact run off. So that was something that that was a joke that stemmed from the original. So we've got two of them that tie back to the source material.
Hey, stay right there, you're kinda hot.
What?
Okay.
You think I'm
Okay, the joke was that funny, but the delivery was kind of hot.
hot? OMG!
Wait, no, now I know why I got that. Why I found that funny. It's literally how Aiden handles NPCs in D&D. If you think about it, there's a legend that I read a rumor that if a pretty girl kisses me, I turn into a prince. I know I met you 2 seconds ago, but I'm shooting my shot here. Says Tree.
realize.
Yeah, that's right, I said you're hot. Now you better go out with me.
But isn't that girl?
How Andrew Tate thinks dating works.
Ugh, shut up and date me now! That's enough, you cow. Stop forcing people to date you.
And here we have another example of, yes, I mean, at some point, in terms of voices, giving characters other actors than have originally, it makes sense. Because having everyone sound different, but also, like, generally on the same level of goofiness to each other will get repetitive. So, Aiden likes playing out some odd fantasies in D&D. He has made out with him. If I had a nickel for every time that Aiden has had a couple, both played by him, furiously making out in a culta, I would have 2 nickels, which is a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Aiden is just expressing his self-love, and it makes me mildly uncomfortable.
No, he at one point said to me that having like a D&D romance like between himself. I talked about like Paul and Emma in the first episode, like, oh wow, what if there's something going on there between them? What if they actually get back together or something? I think I said that, and then he said, oh no, it wouldn't be the same. The D&D romance would not be like, I wouldn't live the same D&D romance if it was one just between myself. And he's done it twice since then. And it just results in furiously making out. The thing that he complains Kawaii-chan and Damien randomly started doing.
Exactly. I'm leaving now. Thank you, Zuri.
Why did you let her go?
Just one of those episodes where, hey, you know that classic line that couples will say, "Would you still love me if I were a worm?" Yeah, well, the couples actually does have a worm in it, so
She didn't even want to date me.
Ah, don't worry about it, Mabel. I will date her, not you.
Wait, hold on, Mabel. That was the character's name. Oh wait, that's right. Yeah, and Brook is the same as well. So all the characters' names are consistent. I thought for some reason we'd get like Oh wait a second. Oh god, it just dawned on me. That's why it's the Tessa Brooks prophecy. Because the character's name is Brook. Tessa Brook has nothing to do with the actual episode. It's just because
The main
WizGaming
character's
thought of
name is
Tessa.
Brook. Good, you've figured out the plot. Can we go home now?
Unfortunately, my drive to always finish reviewing videos all the way through prevents me from going anywhere. But if you don't want to leave, I will not judge you.
So you're gonna steal her from me?
Yes, that is exactly what I am doing, you idiot. You better watch your back now.
Listen up, queens.
I said you can go!
We
I
got
said
a
you can
new
leave.
sick legend today.
Did that desk
Okay.
appear from nowhere?
Okay, for some reason, like... An issue with the original editing of this video is the fact that nothing is pre-rendered, and one of the things that comes from that is the fact that like not all the layers cut off at the exact same time as each other, so sometimes things will appear or disappear before or after they're supposed to. So that's from NotZoey, not from WizGaming. I was gonna say something else. I forgot what it was now. Anyway.
Hey, Mabel. Do y'all think she's single? Who?
Back off, she's mine, or something.
She's the girl that rejected
Yeah, the one that everyone's talking
me
about.
earlier. Had to teach her a lesson. So, she's just another one of those heartbreakers.
Okay, again, if we wanted to build on the joke from before, you could have had the character being like, "Oh, that is so terrible." Wait, you said you're single, right? Something, anything.
Ugh, gosh. Principal Reed needs to stop letting in breaker. Grandpa used to have a school.
I need to move away from my microphone so that the pop filter doesn't keep breaking whenever I do B's and P sounds.
Full of people who were dating because we didn't have any
I
heartbreakers.
can't understand anything she's saying because of the background a cappella and her voice at the same time.
I'm delivering some exposition in a really hard to follow voice on top of some not audio balanced music.
Look, this video feels like it could have benefited from one thing, and that one thing is subtitles.
Yes, I will give credit to the Alpha Sisters that I'm pretty sure they are aware of this issue with goofy voices and they caption all of their videos.
Like, they might, like, the Alpha Sisters might caption their videos poorly, but at least they captioned their videos.
Yeah.
Too bad they
So
murdered Jeff the Killer, and I can never forgive them for that.
Okay, Tessa Brooks, introduce yourself to your new classmates.
So, yep, there you go. Tessa Brooks, mentioned for the first time.
But her name is just Brooks. Where did the Tessa come from?
From the existence of popular influencer Tessa Brook of Team 10 fame.
Yo,
I don't know who that is.
It's Tessa Brook. The competition shook. She's here to educate you, and she's not talking book. How could you not know? It's every day, bro.
Oh no, she's
That's
one
the
of
fact of the
them.
show.
Yeah, I try to
Yes,
stay as far
that was
away.
That's Team 10, the ones who made that.
Oh no. Yep, now time to jump off the cliff.
That's why I was confused. I remember she mentioned like Panera in that song or something, because Bart Baker made a reference to that. So that's why I was like, wait, where'd the whole Takis thing come from? But now I know that nothing is connected. So I'm sure that Tessa Brook, I don't know if Tessa Brook has ever eaten Takis in her life anymore.
Why do I feel like redoing this but better?
Because you had the same urge with Lion Gates, and I completely understand both cases.
I would redo Lion Gate. However, I do have someone actively holding me back from absolutely tearing my teeth into that.
Someone holding you back?
Yeah, I said to focus on Monster Compendium. I can redo Lion Gate as soon as I can figure out how to make it make sense.
I meant more so because you did like that one scene where you like redid the audio basically. But yeah,
I have no idea how to rewrite the plot to make it make sense with everything else.
Yeah, I guess with that
is the only reason why I haven't touched it.
So yeah, some of that stuff is really hard to ignore for sure. Maybe we could just pretend that Ian is actually just Lawrence, but with a new look. I don't know.
Why don't we just kill him?
Because he shows up in most of the show, and therefore the footage would not support that.
But I meant kill him, as in edit him out of the series entirely.
You're welcome to try. I'm not sure how well that would go, considering what the things that happen. But yeah, I suppose if yeah, as long as we have to sacrifice Garth's scenes on top of that because he's mostly paired up with him, yeah, that would probably work.
Dating
By the
someone.
way, we'll
yeah.
get to this when we start reviewing Lion Gate again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go sit next to that hot dude.
They're all hot dudes or thick legends. Also, no more footstep sound effects of any kind anymore. I think WizGaming just forgot or something.
Or gave
I
up.
assume this was edited in chronological. Yeah, I assume this was all edited in chronological order. So, because you know, the format supports it.
Ah, it's so annoying. Why won't Tessa date anyone? I know, right? At this rate, I'm gonna be
Wait, why wouldn't at this rate? She just got to the school. What do you mean at this rate?
single my entire life. That is not good. Ugh, why would she do that? We just want to date her.
Yeah, well,
Wait, all of you want to date Tessa? Wow, this suddenly became Phoenix Job High.
as long as we have Caro at our school, we will not be single.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness! I just had speaking of Phoenix Job High, I just had an image of just like a very like straightforward like you know direct spoken Russian girl that comes in like Athmal, everyone here is in love with you, but I am also in love with you. I will conquer you. I will and I will date you. You will be mine, or something like that. I don't know.
That makes more
The-
sense
the-
than whatever's going on here.
Yeah, and then she becomes like the biggest threat to like every guy that's also trying to date Athmal because they can't be like as direct.
All of these
But what if
men,
the
they
other
do
high
not
school-
deserve you. Only me, because I am direct. I have
Mhm.
also made my intentions with you very clear, unlike him. Points to Ian.
The only obstacle I guess would be Aaron's. Like, I have a modicum of respect for you, Aaron. You are the only one that I actually that I appreciate. You are the worthy opponent that I require.
Get someone hotter. What do we do then?
Also, hi, Aaron.
I highly doubt it will happen, you cow. We should have a chat with Tessa. We are the most powerful students in the school. We should have a say in this.
That is also a line from the. That's actually a direct quote from the original. We are the most powerful students in school. We should have a say in this. Obviously, the context is different, but hey, you know, at least, again, 3 times we've tied it back to the source material. At least rule of threes, right there.
Ugh, why does Zoe's breath smell
Well,
like
thingy, it's probably going to get worse from here.
I just realized that like the milk cartons in the original one are like actually like laterally inverted sometimes, not in this shot, but they were in the other.
stomach lining from eating too much tacos?
You mean too many Takis? There's actually something, by the way, they don't teach you in English first language, but teach you in English second language. Much and many, the reason that we use them instinctually, but it's actually because much is used for things that are not countable, and then many is used for things that are countable. So that's why you have something you can't say 1 money, 2 monies, but you can say something like, you know, $1, $2. So you have much money, but you have many dollars. There you go, fun fact.
I was gonna sing friends like me, but I don't know
I was going to sing Friends Like Me. What do you mean, like, what?
how.
Let's see. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Wait, no, that doesn't sound right. I just sound more like myself. So no one told you. There we go, perfect.
That song goes so. Here's the best I can do. It's a
You could literally look it up. That's what Google exists
whole
for.
new world. A
A different song than what you said.
new fantastic point of view. I'm in a mood.
Every second you crack, we can't get back. Our brains are crumbling in this whole new world.
Why do I keep having hallucinations, bro? Cairo, you don't look as good as Tessa.
Which is not what he said, so why did you bring it
How
up?
dare you speak that way to me? I'm breaking up with you. Goodbye.
Wait, breaking up? I thought that she was single.
Yeah, she keeps making people date her. That would be hard if she was in a relationship.
Dominic Noble
What?
actually once said, like, the cardinal sin of adaptations is creating plot holes that weren't present in the original. And that's,
In that
there you go,
case,
right
one
there.
massive plot hole just tore its way through the fabric of this show, like a butcher's knife through quilt.
It tore its way like a 1,000-degree glowing knife through a chunk of iron.
Did he seriously just break up with us? I must find somebody harder
I'm sorry, were they in a polygamy this whole time and they were worried about Tessa? What? Huh?
than they are. Tell me I'm hot.
Oh my gosh, you're so hot!
I need her.
And that's it. We end on a lead-do-do-do-do-do-do. Soundtrack provided by Nicholas Polyakov. All right. So, that was the video. I salute everyone that actually managed to stick by. This one is rough. Then again, we've definitely sat through worse.
Yeah,
We've,
we've definitely sat through worse, but this is clearly this is just bad.
Yeah. There's of course, like you said before, the possibility this was done in a sense of like shadow bullying the original episode. But because I only counted 3 moments that actually tied back into the original episode, probably more likely it's a case of, okay, I'm just going to spoof all this. Again, like the Opposites Miraculous video, but without the shadow intention of exposing how bad the original one was, apparently. What I'm guessing is that, this was either because this was a popular show at the time, or it was because it was recently discontinued. I don't know when NotZoey discontinued it. Or it was just something, a recognizable title that people would actually, click on. And from that sense, I get why someone would want to, abridge it. I get why someone would want to review it, quite frankly. But yeah, maybe not quite in the form that we saw today. Main issue, of course, was again nothing tied into anything. There was no build-up or setup. It was all payoff. And when there's all payoff, it's not as effective because jokes will build up. Basically, comedy is subjective, but there are structures in place that people have basically universally agreed on.
Oops, all payoff.
Yeah. It's essentially essentially like having a book that just has the end written everywhere, and that's it. Like, what were we even, here for in the first place? There's no reason why, you can't, or dare I say, shouldn't, get people invested in your story, even if you're making something a parody. If it's just like here's
where
any YouTube video for that matter.
Here's where I'm going to loop back to Sword Art Online Abridged.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sword Art Online Abridged gave me more of a reason to sympathize with Kirito than the original series.
Which is quite impressive considering what type of character Kirito is in that series. The fact that anyone can sympathize with him is is a miracle.
It's like sympathizing with a brick wall. A brick wall in a black trench coat.
Essentially, yeah. Which is
somehow
how people
SAO
describe original Kirito like that: a brick wall and a black trench coat.
Somehow they've turned this brick wall and a black trench coat into a pumpkin overnight. And I
Yeah.
I care about this pumpkin significantly more.
Yeah, turn him into a frustrated gamer. Absolutely.
However, when it comes to this, they turned the main character from a pumpkin into a wall in a school uniform. And I have no reason to care about this series other than I have no reason to care about this adaptation other than wondering why it exists. Was it your intention to be mean to the original creator? Come on, you can be honest with me.
I
Was
won't
it your
judge.
intention to be rude? Was it your intention to be rude?
I guess it's kind of like asking Dogen if the intention was to make a good follow-up adaptation or not. We will never know the answer to that question, in truth.
We will never know that answer unless the creator of this video somehow finds this review, pops into the comments, and says, yeah, my intention was to bully the original creator in the funniest way possible. To which I say, mad respect, but also that's not how we do things here.
Yeah, maybe I should change that. Maybe I should change the maybe I should change the title of the video to something else, and that way, we'll see what happens. I mean, it worked with the Alpha Sisters. That's how they started. That's how they started watching my content, and their fans got sent over. So it's known to happen.
Gay and all straight school.
Yeah, part 2 specifically was the one where with the clickbaity title, and that's the one that everyone flooded immediately. So it worked.
They created a clickbait title, and all I got was NSFW bots.
And I'm pretty sure it is still a joint first of your most viewed videos on the channel. So
you win some, you lose a few hundred.
Take the good with the bad, I suppose. So yeah, I forgot what I was going to say about it. Yeah, I guess the rabbit hole does continue from this point because we still have the Music Freaks episode, but I will save that for probably tomorrow. And then, hey, maybe I'll go back to an Alpha Sisters video and just see what happens next on Bunny Wunny Tales. Maybe we'll catch Jeff's funeral or something. I don't know. We'll find out.
They killed my boy.
My boy. Look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, exactly. And that's probably how NotZoey would have felt about this video. Compared to Rosie Clossie actually commenting on the video we're going to watch tomorrow, expressing, obviously joking approval. I think the comment was something like, oh, wow, I should have the show voice edited by just you now or something. Like, obviously, that was never going to happen. So, but still, expressing appreciation, at least.
Yeah, probably because the next video... Probably because the next video we're going to watch is probably going to be a lovingly curated satire of Music Freaks rather than whatever this was.
Yeah, of which it is entirely possible that WizGaming essentially missed the point and made it Fartnado 2, I suppose. Fartnado 2, the fart becomes stinkier. All right.
Never before have I wanted to confiscate someone's editing software.
Never before I want to give someone my editing software so they can actually do something with it. Anyway, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, I'm listening to that Donkey Kong Jr. Starbomb song. It's way better than this. Farewell.